What's going on, everybody? This is Chris on Around the ATL on IMTN Worldwide Radio. Doing a side notes episode tonight. And before I get started, of course, want to shout out everybody who's going to check out the show tonight, tomorrow, or whenever, obviously. And let me see. Make sure you subscribe to the IMTN Worldwide Radio page. It's right there. Make sure you follow on Twitter, Intellect ATL. Feel free to follow on the Instagram and Facebook pages, IMTN Worldwide Radio. But if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe to the IMTN Worldwide Radio page right now. Make sure if you ever need any design work, go to Price Design Club on Instagram, as you can see right there. My man Jamal Price has designed many project for me, including the new, Around the ATL logo for 2022. The original logo, as you saw in the introduction of the show, as well as other projects. Go to his page there on Instagram. Let him know Around the ATL sent you. If you really need some serious design work, that's the guy to go to for sure. Now, tonight is not going to be a live show, so I'm not throwing out the number where you can call in, but you can hit the message board. It is open currently. So what are we talking about tonight? So are we supposed to just let the players do what they want to do? And why? Have you ever just let people do what they want to do if you're in charge of someone, or if you're managing someone, or if you have kids, or like one of the original, how can I put it? Do you let your kid put their hand in the electric socket for them to learn that they're going to get electrocuted or hurt? Do you let your kid put their hand on the hot stove so they can burn their hand? That's how you're going to teach them. No, you don't let them do that kind of stuff. Or do you? I played basketball Sunday night. I'm going to segue real quick. I played basketball Sunday night, and I'm pretty beat up tonight. I'm really sore because these young men came out there from nowhere. We've never seen these guys before. And they out there, goodness, not the Harlem Globetrotters. It was just like Run TMC or something like that, but faster. And guys started dunking all over the place. Now, mind you, again, the group that we play out there, we've been playing for many years. We've been playing for 3 decades, 3 decades plus. I'm playing with guys who now have kids that are also playing. You see what I'm saying? It's not easy to keep up with these 25-year-olds, 20-year-olds, and stuff like that there. And I'm playing against really young men. And after a game that I got eliminated out of a game, I got the brother Dap, because of screens that I was setting. He respected it because he couldn't get around it. He didn't see it coming, first of all. I almost laid him out because he knows I'm out there being serious. My effort was there because somebody keeps talking about effort. I'm going to get to that in a second. But then he also kept giving me dap because of the games that we were playing against each other and stuff, basically old school versus new school, that we kept on fighting. Even though we were getting blown out, we still came back, didn't come back and win, but we still came back. We were dead tired, but by the third game we played, we were done. But mostly because we won our first game, but it went into overtime because we didn't get back on defense. Oh, well. Somebody hit a wide open shot and we had to play overtime. It wasn't cool. We won it, but it was a hard game. It was the first game of the night. We went up to 16 by ones, playing 2s and 1s, shot clock and everything. But it was a hard fought win. And it took all my energy just to keep it going. But anyway, I didn't really play that well shooting the ball either. That was terrible. But I did everything else well. But young people recognize the sport when it's played the right way. They do recognize it. You see what I'm saying? Because they see the elements of what happens when you have players that have been coached or players that know the game. You see what I'm saying? But here's the other part of that, though. Talent alone, I'm going to talk about Kirby Smart in a little bit. Congratulations to UGA Bulldogs. If I was doing a live radio show, I'd be playing the UGA theme song right now. But Kirby, in the interviews and all the commentators kept saying that Kirby gets these guys to work. There's all kind of talented players out there, but there's all kind of 5 stars out there that don't have a work ethic. And you either going to work or you're not going to play. Bye. Transfer portal. Maybe somebody else will pick you up. Why would you just want players to just do what they want? You don't let that happen in high school. You don't let that happen in college. So why would you let that happen in the pros? Again, there are no player coaches out there, right? They don't exist. So why is it happening? Why would you allow that to happen? And it's not a premise. Again, it's not conjecture. If the premise is just give up, and I'm going to talk about this now. Just give up. Nobody can fix this. That's what the contention is with the Hawks. Nobody can stop the bleeding. Doesn't matter who the coach is that will come in here. Nobody could take this group of players and make it work. You basically got to blow it up. That's the contention. A player that's averaging 25 and 9 for his career, get him out of here. A young man that should be giving us 20 and 10, but they don't want to play him. A number 4 draft pick. No. Shooters galore. Do you know we have 4 players on our team that shoots 37% or higher from 3? Did you know that? Did y'all know that? Or you just ignore it? We got 4 different players that shoot 37%, and we got plenty of players that can hit a straight up 3. And we don't set screens for none of them. We're just supposed to ignore all that and just say, it's just whatever. Just let them do whatever. Just whatever happens, happens. Why do we have a coach then if that's the premise? That nobody can set no reason to this. Let me rephrase this real quick. There's no expectation that the coach is the leader of the team when you say something like that. That the coach has no control. That no matter what, it's just lip service. Because I had someone say, well, some of the players have said, Nate keeps saying stuff and showing them what to do and how to do it and then demanding that they do it and then utter punishment when it don't get done is how you do it. Just talking it don't do no good. See, I could talk to my teammates and say, hey, we got to get back on defense. But I'm still on the other end of the court. If I'm a leader on the team, I need to get back on defense too. So the whole team will follow me getting back down on defense, right? Or, hey guys, we're down 10-0 right now. We need to do something. We got to get a stop. We got to do something actively to get a stop. It's all lip service, though, if I don't try to do anything to get a stop. Isn't that correct? If I'm one of the leaders on the team, if people look up to me, whether it be age or skill, whatever it might be. Otherwise, what are you even really doing? We just getting exercise out here tonight? No, I'm playing to win. Every time I hit the court, I am never on the court in some slides or some slippers or some flip-flops. Anytime I come onto a court and I see that, I go. I leave. I don't stay there. That's crazy. I'm not about to do that because I'm trying to get out there to play to win a game. No matter what my condition is, I'm going to do what I need to do, which goes back into one thing I'm not going to do is shoot my team out the game. I personally am not that selfish. Everybody don't got that in them. But I would rather win the game rather than say, oh, I hit all the shots. Because remember what I've said on shows before and in posts and articles and things of that nature? You can shoot a team out the game by hitting shots as much as you can by missing shots. Remember the Houston game? We lost to a team that had 3 losses. You had 2 players shoot 24 shots and 28 shots, and we lost the game. We really didn't have a chance. You saw the game, right? Maybe I should replay that game one day. You saw the game. You saw people get waved out the way so 2 players can shoot the ball, trying to show up the other team, and we lost that game. It wasn't a meaningless game because you know what? We lost the next 2 games too. You know, we had a lead in that game. We had a 16-point lead in that Houston game. But we're supposed to just let the players do what they want. You mean to tell me that the coach could not do this? The following. Hey, guys, if you don't start passing the ball to the other players, I'm going to bench you. And that's the end of it. You're trying to tell me that that can't happen. When we see all the other coaches in the league do it. That's what baffles me. You can't get away with that aspect. You have other stars being pulled from a game when they're doing terrible things on the court. They're not an asset right now. That group, the group that's in there is the group that's working out. This other group was thinking it up. If it's the whole starting lineup, it's the whole starting lineup. And you mean to tell me only here with this group, it's not possible to do that? You can't do it. It's impossible. It's not possible. It's not doable. It's unthinkable, unfathomable to have the head coach say, hey, guys, I need 4 Look, hold up. I'll play it. I got to give y'all physical examples.
How many times are we going to pass before we shoot? How many? 4. 4! Set it up! Set it up! Ray! Ray! Pass the ball! Ollie, going for Ray. Now, move! Come on.
So did you see what just happened right there? First of all, head coach after the game, how many times are you going? He's taught this. This was in practice. They practiced it, and then they got on the court and did the exact opposite. So in the locker room, that's after the game is over, and he's telling them, you're going to pass the ball 4 times before you put up a shot from now on, or the same thing is going to happen. I'm going to pull our best shooter from the game, because that's not been winning ball games. Him shooting hasn't been winning y'all ball games. Getting people involved in the game will win ball games. And he proved it and won their state title. That's the movie Hoosiers. He pulled the best player. And then what happened, the rest of that scene, if you watched it, what happened? Another player got fouled out. They only have 4 players. This is high school ball back in the olden days or whatever. They only had like 6, 7 players, period. They had a player foul out, so they only have 4 players. The ref comes over, hey, I need a 5th. My team is out there. That's what coach said. My team is out there. We're going down as a lesson. Don't tell me the coach can't do it. Don't tell me. I don't care. If Billy Donovan, let me pull it up again. I just don't understand it. I don't understand where you're coming from with this, folks. Billy Donovan last November pulled Levine from the game after playing 25 minutes after going 1 for 14 shooting. You see that? Don't tell me that Nate can't do that. Bogey was 2 for 13. Look, listen to this now. I've done plenty of shows. I'm keeping y'all up to date on certain things. I went back and checked all the games. The Hawks, up until Sunday, were 7-10 in ball games where they had a 9-point lead or higher. Many of those games were 15-point leads that we lost. And watched it happen. Sunday was about to be the 11th game. We had a 17-point lead in that game, 14-point lead at halftime, and Bogey was allowed to go 2 for 13 for the game, 0 for 7 from 3. AJ was 3 for 3 from that game, 1 for 1 from 3, played 10 minutes. Bogey played 26. Tell me why. Tell me why. Is that Backstreet Boys or the other group? I don't know. But tell me why that was allowable. Tell me why that was the right way to go. Tell me how that was winning basketball right there. Allowing a player to go 2 for 13, 0 for 7 from 3. Remember a couple months ago, Bogey went 0 for 10 from 3. We lost that game too. The head coach can't allow that if the goal is to win the game. If the goal is to actually win the game, how would you allow that and be confident about it? That doesn't make logical sense. We're losing, which takes me to my next point. Last year wasn't a successful year, folks. Was it? 39 losses? I'm going to keep repeating it. We lost 39 games last year. If not for the new format, we would have been eliminated. We were not favored in both the play-in games. We almost got swept in the first round. Everybody's savior scored 12, 4, 13, 9, and 8 points in the 5 games we played against Miami. You know who I mean when I say savior, who used to be one of my favorite players until last year, where he only gave the team 12 points or less. I gave y'all the 34 games that he played in last year. 20 of the first games of the season and 14 games we lost by 13 points or less, and gave y'all his production. If he was that guy, why couldn't we not get more than 12 points a game out of him rather than 4-point games and 8-point games and 7-point games and 0 for 5 and all this stuff when we really needed him after he signed that contract to give us 19 a night? We would have had a completely different season if Kevin was giving us 19 a night. We got 12 or less. All you got to do is, I have a whole show on that. Go watch it. It's on the page. Last year wasn't successful. And what was happening last year wasn't working. I don't care what nobody says. It wasn't working. But some have said, well, we're doing the exact same thing we did last year. It wasn't working then. It's working less now. Because you know why? Because people in the NBA are smart. There are good coaches out there. And they're looking at what the Hawks did last year, see that they're not changing it, and they're stopping everything. It's not brain surgery. Look at all the pick and rolls that get broken up on our team. Because that's all we do. And then we revert to ISO Joeism. It's all we do. We self-trap ourselves. We were self-trapping ourselves last year. Why? Because we would not move. We would not move. We do not move. But it's just the players. It's the players' fault because the players can't do nothing. Coach ain't supposed to coach them. Just take the coaching responsibility out. What is the coach supposed to do on the sidelines if he's not coaching? I see all these other coaches in the league. Hold up. Let's pull this up real quick. I hadn't done this in a minute. Let's do this real quick. Let's do this. So for some reason, the Boston Celtics have 29 wins. Brooklyn Nets have 27 wins. Milwaukee Bucks have 26 wins. Cleveland Cavaliers have 26 wins. Philadelphia has 24 wins. And Indiana has 23 wins. Those are the top 6 teams in the East. How is that possible? I don't understand it. Above us, the Knicks are in 7th with 22 wins. Miami is right above us. They're over 500. And then it's us at 9th. Let's go over to the Western Conference real quick. Denver has 27 wins. Memphis has 27 wins. Pelicans have 20. They're in 3rd place. Pelicans are 3rd in the West, y'all. Dallas is number 4, 23 wins. Sacktown, 21. They're in 5th place. Mike Brown's the coach over there. The Warriors, they have 500, just kind of chilling like they usually do. But they're in playoff position, though. You mean to tell me none of those teams are getting coached? Uh-oh. Wrong button. You mean to tell me none of those teams are getting coached? That's what you're saying? That the players are just doing it, they're just doing stuff? That doesn't make logical sense. You want to know how I know that? Because we watch these other teams play us, and we watch their systems. We watch adjustments happen on the court in real time. We see it. We synced it. But for the Hawks, it's different. For the Hawks, we don't have none of that. We're not supposed to have none of that. None of that exists. None of that is possible to exist. What was successful about last year that is ogling people's minds that, oh, well, we just have to keep Nate for another 2 years to go through this, what Indiana went through for 4 years, what Portland went through for 6 years, and what Seattle went through for 5 years. You know, if you win 40, look, I'll do the math real quick. Let me do it on my phone because 40. You know, if you win 45 games a season for 15 years, you can win 675 games. And you can win 45 games a year and never win a championship and still win 675 games. I'm sorry. Nate doesn't have the cachet to put our team in this position like this because of his incapacity to coach a team in a way that will make them successful. Coaching a team is just not saying, hey, guys, we need to get back down the court. No, coaching is, guys, if we don't get down the court, you're not going to play. If you're not going to stay with your man on the switch, you're not going to play. This is what they do. I need you to do this instead to stop it. If that's not part of coaching, what are you doing? And I gave an analogy about the military. Few Good Men. Y'all know that movie. Everybody loves that movie, right? What was the line? If men don't follow orders, men die. Orders. You can't just let someone come into boot camp, do whatever, and then get them on the battlefield and be like, oh, well, you were supposed to learn it. You went through boot camp, right? Does that make any sense? Who are you going to trust? Who are you going to trust? The person who's actually learned by the actual drill sergeant, and that drill sergeant made sure that they knew how to do everything they were supposed to do, tried and true, trial and error. And if they couldn't cut the mustard, they're ran out before they get onto the battlefield, right? They're discharged. You can't hack it, son or madam, right? You can't just let people go out there and assume they know how to do stuff. How illogical is that? The same thing in the secular world. Again, I use myself as an example. I am responsible for people who are under me as manager. My job is on the line when those people don't perform. I don't care if I didn't personally train them. I don't care if they came from another location and supposedly they know how to do everything. You know what I got to do? I have to train them for my location. I got to train them in the ways that is making my location successful. You heard what I just said? My location successful. I don't care if they know how to play basketball. Everybody knows how to play basketball, but do you know how to play basketball the way we do it? But see, to do that, you got to have a philosophy. To do that, you got to have a system. To do that, you got to have an ideology. You got to have a plan. And we don't have a plan. How do I know this? Do I have to pull it up? I guess I can pull it up. Let's see if I can pull it up. Actually, no. I'll do this. I'll do one better. Let's see if I can save this. And I'm going to switch to something else real quick. If I can do it. Oh, it's not going to open, so I got to close these up. Look at this. I knew I was going to get in trouble trying to do this. Here we go. So, to show what having a plan would mean, okay, it would mean that it wouldn't be possible for someone like Clint to be in the game starting and you still giving up all the things that you think you wouldn't be giving up on defense because he's playing. Because that's the other premise that people have. All this nonsense would stop once Clint gets back, whenever that's going to be at this point. I don't know. Now I'm worried because we ain't heard nothing about Clint lately, right? That's Hawks fans. Don't know nothing that's going on. But anyway, I pulled 8 games in November and December that Clint started, and we still was giving up. We were still giving up points in the paint, still giving up second chance points, still giving up fast break points, the whole 9 yards, because we don't have a plan, because we don't have nobody coaching defense. We don't have nobody demanding the effort. People keep talking about effort, right? I need y'all to keep getting back on defense. I need y'all to stay on your. I need y'all to communicate. Well, if they're not doing it though, what's the recourse, coach? I'm sorry. You can't just let nobody do anything they want to. But let me show you an example of what I mean. And again, I hate that nobody's watching. I invited some people that I'm having this discussion with, and they didn't want to come on, and it's all good, whatever. But I'm going to do it, and I'm going to post this show up later. I didn't announce this. I just said, I'm tired. I'm going to do this show. So on November 5th, I'm going to go in order. November 5th against the Pelicans, Clint started. Again, let me prelude this real quick. Again, I said this on the show when I did this initially, that I don't hate Clint. I don't dislike Clint or anything like that, but I'm just making sure that y'all know that Clint is not going to stop all this. Clint is not going to be the preventative measure to say the Hawks going to get back on track, because Clint hasn't been hurt all year. Clint has not been hurt all year. Sorry, that's not true. We were losing games before Clint went out. And some of these games that we had leads in, Clint was there too. All I'm proving is Clint is not going to be the only mechanism to stop all the foolishness that's been going on this season. But so here's why I say that. On November 5th against the Pelicans, we gave up 68 points in the paint, 17 second chance points, 14 fast break points, 19 offensive rebounds. Jonas, the center of the Pelicans, he had 13 points, 17 rebounds, 10 of those offensive rebounds. Clint started that game. Now, we did actually win this game, believe it or not, 124-121. We also had a 13-point lead in this game. So how do we go from 13-point lead to winning by 3? Because we gave up 68 points in the paint, 17 second chance points. There you go right there. Heck, or 14 fast break points. There's a 13-point lead right there again. Clint started that game, though. November 9th against the Jazz, 50 points in the paint, 20 second chance points, 16 fast break points, 13 offensive rebounds. Clint started that game. Hawks had a 10-point lead in that game. We lose that game 125-119. November 12th against Philadelphia 76ers. We gave up 56 points in the paint, 11 second chance points, 18 fast break points. Philly shot 55% from the floor. You know how much Joel had? 42-10. Clint started that game. We lost 121-109. November 21st against the Cavs, we gave up 52 points in the paint. I haven't mentioned 40 points yet in the paint given up yet, have I? No. We gave up 52 points in the paint, 10 second chance points, not too bad there. 15 fast break points. Cavs shot 60% from the floor, 52% from three. We lost that game 114-102. Clint started that game as well. The reason I'm doing November and December games, so that way nobody can give me the excuse in October Clint didn't have his legs or whatever. November 28th, we play Philly again. 52 points in the paint. All these games in November that I just mentioned that Clint started, we gave up 50 or more points in the paint. We gave up 13 second chance points, 12 fast break points. Hawks had a 16-point lead in that game. Joel had 30. We lost 104-101. 3 points. So you mean to tell me we had a 16-point lead, 12 fast break points. Guys, if you don't get back on defense, I'm going to have to put somebody else in. 13 second chance points. Guys, if we don't block out, I'm going to have to put somebody else in. 52 points in the paint. Guys, if we don't block out and we don't stay over our man, I got to take you out this game. Why isn't that the standard? Because other coaches do it. Other coaches do like this. Hey, you just floating around out there. You're not sticking anybody. You're literally standing out here just not guarding nobody. Which happened a lot last year. You know why? When people don't hit their shots, they just tend to just be standing around not wanting to play no defense. Why are they in the game? Why is bad play rewarded is my whole point. If it's effort, why are you on the floor? Don't say we don't have enough people. We got players galore. Put in Frank the Tank. Put in Culver. Put in Trent Forrest. Put in both Holiday brothers again. If that's what you got to do to prove a point, the players are not in control. No player can take themselves out the game, and no player is putting themselves in the game at a will. That starting lineup is created by the head coach, not the players. If the coach decides to make you inactive, you're not playing. Have you ever seen a player that was scratched or healthy scratch or whatever get into the game? Have you ever seen that? They just took off their warm-ups and just got into the game. There's 6 people on the court. Have you ever seen that before? I never have. I'm not done. December 5th, OKC. Y'all remember that OKC game, right? We gave up 56 points in the paint. 17 second chance points, 19 fast break points, 14 offensive rebounds. We had a 14-point lead in that game. We lost that game by 7, 121-114. Clint started that game too. December 9th against the Nets. Now you remember this is early December. This is a big game right here. This game right here is the emphasis of my whole argument on almost the whole season or really the last 2 seasons. Okay. And again, I like Clint, but Clint's not going to be the only one to stop all this nonsense, not on defense for sure, but then offense comes into play a little bit in this game. Why? Because of those 4 point-blank misses he had at the bucket. That's 8 possible points. Or heck, even if he had just hit 3 or 4 of those layups, that's 6 points. We lost that game by 4 points. We had a 4-point lead with 5 minutes left, or actually 5 minutes and 39 seconds. But anyway, let me get back to the main part. Nets had 48 points in the paint in that game. They had 15 second chance points in that game. They had 19 fast break points in that game. We lost 120-116. Again, if it's effort, hey guys, instead of saying, hey guys, it needs to be, hey, I need you to stay with your man. I need you to find your man. Just saying that is not enough. If they're not going to do it, if they're incapable of doing it, they can't be on the floor. How hard is that? Why is that a hard concept? I've been saying it for 5 years. Now, the next time I do an actual 2-hour show, I'm going to play the clips from 2018 where I talk about this. Back then, that we weren't doing it on defense then. We're not doing it on defense now. 5 years of this. We don't get back on defense. We don't block out. We can't call switches. We can't rotate. We overhelp. It's every game. I'm just giving you 8 games right now that we're not doing it. That next game really hurt. We should have won that game. Again, we have 10 losses where we've had 9 points leads or more. I didn't even go back and count the games where we had a 4-point lead or a 5-point lead or a 6-point lead in the last 5 minutes of the game, because that might just hurt my feelings for real. But that next game on December 9th, that was a big one. And Clint started that game too. Last game, these are 8 games that I pulled. Just 8 games to show Clint ain't going to be the one that's going to stop the foolery here. It ain't going to be just him. It has to be the whole team. But anyway, December 11th against the Bulls. Y'all remember that Bulls game, right? Bulls had 64 points in the paint, 11 second chance points, 14 fast break points. Hawks had a 12-point lead. Bulls had 13 offensive rebounds. We had to win that game in overtime, 123 to 122. Why? 64 points in the paint? All of these games, except for one, the Hawks had 50-plus points or more given up in the paint with Clint starting. All kind of second chance points with Clint starting. So don't say that, oh, well, this is only happening because Clint ain't playing. That's just a falsehood. That's a lie. I just showed you it's a lie. Whole team has to get back on defense. And if the whole team ain't getting back on defense, you got to pull them. I just gave you an example. When I played Sunday night, we lost that third game mostly because we just weren't getting back on defense. Now, yeah, we were old and tired. We were playing men that are 25 years younger than us. One of the guys on my team is 57 years old. But then he started getting hot. We kind of came back a little bit. I told you all that early in the video. But we were done. We were toast. We weren't going to win that game. But we still competed, though. When we got our second win, when dude hit his shot, because at that point it's like, hey guys, we gotta get one stop. We get one stop. Let's see what we can do. I'm gonna set me some more screens. Y'all better be ready. Shoot it. Give me the ball down low. Y'all cut. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can hit some more shots. I know we're tired. We gotta dig deep. We almost got shut out. I was scared. I've never been shut out in the game before. That was scary. I was like, man, this ain't looking good. We got everybody. We had a full gym Sunday night. We were down 10-0 at a point. I was like, oh man. But for real, like I said before, we were really tired. That first game I won my first game, but we had to go to overtime in that game. We shouldn't have, because we let somebody hit a shot because we didn't get back on defense one time, and it tied up the game. Then we had to go in overtime. We won it, but it took all of our energy. It was a hard fought game. That was a tiring game. I should have left after that, because those young guys came in there. They were looking for blood because they wanted to prove something. That's all that was. And now I'm mad now, because now I'm like, okay, I really got to get back in shape, because I'm not going to let them do that again. I'm not going to let them do it. Like I said, they gave me the brother dap. You know, they can't get through my screens. I'm throwing people to the ground. I didn't care. They're trying to beat me up. I'm gonna beat you back. But anyway, whole point of this is coach can't just let players do whatever. All these other coaches out there don't let their players do it, and they're leading their conferences, they're leading their divisions. They've been doing it for multiple years, doing that, saying, I need you to be able to do this. This is going to be your role for this season. I need you to do that. That's what Chuck Daly did. Bad boys. That's what Coach Bud did. Did you watch it? Do I need to play the 3-minute video? I don't want to do that tonight. Go back and watch that video on IMT on Worldwide Radio page. I'll pull up the name later. But basically, it's Coach Bud talking about his Hawks and offense. Okay. It's a good video. You should go watch that. But you can't just let players do whatever without no consequences. That's absurd. It's absurd. Listen to me. It's absurd. When all the other coaches in the league say, hey, I need you to do this or that, and if you don't, you're not going to play. Oh, you're going to play, but you're not going to play as much as you think you're going to play. You can't let someone go 0 for 10 from 3. That happened a lot last year. Gallo did it. Bogey did it. Red Mamba did it. Trey did it. You can't let players do that. We let 2 players shoot almost, 24 shots 28 shots. Almost 50 shots between two players, and we lost that game against a 3-win team. Why is that acceptable to y'all? Oh, coach couldn't do nothing. Coaches had to let those guys and shoot the team out the game. He had no recourse. Just kept watching John get waved out. Not going to give AJ the ball. Not going to give nobody else the ball. Get out the way. This is going to be me and Murray playing tonight. No two players have ever beat a team of 15 before in NBA history. It ain't never happened. Ain't never happened. But we're supposed to just give up and just believe it's okay to watch that, though. Talent alone doesn't mean anything. There's plenty of talented players out there. Think about all the NBA players that have played in the NBA, and all of them had talent. Some of them didn't really want to work. We saw that, right? We've seen the stories. We've seen it. And I'm watching Kirby in his interview talking about working and, talking about all these 5 stars and everything, and the commentators talking about it. It's great to have 5-star players, but they have to work. With Kirby, if you don't work, you ain't playing. And that's it. You might not even be on the team that much longer. And that's it. Know your role. Go do some wrestling right there, right? Then you got to do it. And if you do it exceptionally, you play even more. It's called having that drive built up. It's called having pride and wanting to do that for you and your teammates. Again, I'm not selfish enough to shoot my team out of a game. I can't do it. My mindset will never let me do it because my goal is to win the game. I want to win. I want to win bad. I don't ever want to lose. Anytime I see who picked me up or whatever, I look and see who's on my team. That's my ball handler. That's my shooter. That's another shooter. That's another potential ball handler. All right, cool. I'm in the post. I'm not shooting. I don't need to shoot. Give me the ball down low and you cut, I'm giving you the ball. You're either going to have a layup or a shot. You take your pick. I'm not going to shoot us out. I'm not going to go out. Now Sunday night, I did try to shoot a little bit because I haven't been shooting lately. I need to shoot a little bit more. I need to be selfish. I can hit. But because I don't ever shoot, nobody even expects me to shoot. And if I'm healthy enough to play this Sunday, because I had somebody want to try to insult me talking about, oh, we don't need no double team on Chris tonight. Don't worry about that. See, that got me infuriated, but I was too tired to do anything at the time. So this coming Sunday, I'm going to be ready. Because 2 weeks ago, I was hitting all my turnarounds, all my cut-in layups. I was, doing give and go. I was doing everything. Sunday, not so much. I was getting beat up. Because I got to play the post. I got to get all the rebounds. I got to try to block all the shots. I got to do all the dirty work. All I ask for is get the touch a couple of times. Again, touches are not necessarily shots. We're talking offense for a second here. It's just being involved. When you're always getting waved out or just ignored and you're not really and then you only play for 2 minutes, Jalen. Every time Jalen gets actual minutes, he always contributes. Every time he gets pulled every 2.5 minutes, it's hard to do anything. I talk about rhythm. Anybody can experience that. Unless you're the microwave on Detroit, right? Or Jay Crossover, but those are guards. It's hard to get a rhythm when you're a bigger player. There's a lot that goes into that part of the game. It's basketball. And one of them is you gotta get the ball. You gotta feel that you get the ball, pass it, okay. All right, let me move around, get the ball, let me make a decision. You gotta be in the game. It's hard to do that when you never get the ball. Hard. It's not impossible, but it's harder when you're not really involved in the offense, especially when you don't really have offense. We don't have a rhyme or reason. Again, we don't do no high-low. We don't do no rubs. We don't do no stagger screens. We don't set no screens for our shooters. Again, I said it earlier, we got 4 players that shoot 37% or higher from 3. We don't set screens for none of them. And Murray is a decent shooter, stand still. Why can't we set him some? Or, hey, Murray, stop shooting threes and just hit mid-range. I hardly want Trey to shoot threes anymore. He don't need to be shooting no threes. We need to be driving and kicking. We won't do that either. We won't post up. We just won't do it. Not consistently. Ever since John's third year, just stop giving him the ball. That's smart, huh? That's smart, huh? Went from 19-9, 21-10, 17-7, just kept on going lower because we kept not getting him the ball anymore. And here it is, he's getting the less shots he's ever gotten in his career, but he was still supposed to get 20 and 10 somehow. All the other Power Fours, I did show on this and the article, all the other Power Fours in the league get 15 shots or more every game. All of them. But just not John. Because somehow the way we're doing it is supposedly working. Let me check that, though. Let's check it to see if that's working real quick. Let's check that. I just want to make sure. The Hawks are 19-21 in ninth place. We're half a game out of 10th. We're the 2 games out of 11th and out of the playoff picture altogether. Is that working? Is that working? I'm just checking. I'm just checking the math. We have 10 losses where we had 9-point leads or higher. Is that working? Is it? Are we a successful team? Are we a contender? Are we a threat in the Eastern Conference? We couldn't beat Houston. We got lit up by Orlando, 50 points. Are we a contender? In a one-game playoff, look at this. And I said this earlier. We can't beat New York, Miami, Chicago, or Toronto, or Orlando. Maybe not even. Well, we might be able to beat Charlotte. I don't think we can beat the Pistons. Pistons beat everybody, all the hard teams, right? We might be able to beat the Wiz, but I don't know. We haven't played them yet. But if it got down to all the marbles, I'm not confident that we could win any of those games. Not straight up. There ain't no way I can say that and be honest about it. No. Because I see how we play, and we play exactly as this person said. We're playing exactly how we played last year. And I'm like, what made last year so successful to say that with pride? The rest of the league ain't stupid. We got great coaches in the league that take advantage of stuff like that to be like, the Hawks are doing exactly what they did last year, so let's take all their stuff away and see what they can do. And the answer is nothing. We see it every night. We have no offense. We have no offense. We'll pass the ball one time and then shoot, or not pass it at all and shoot, or maybe pass it twice. That's in the pick and roll part. And if that don't work, now you're just going to dribble out the shot clock for 10 seconds and then shoot. And then we don't block out. It's the same thing every night. It's the same thing every night. And one on the other side, by the way, too. Taking those errant threes is an and one on the other side every time. Or a wide open three. Every time. How's it every time, right? All you got to do is look at the second chance points in every game we play. Fast break points in every game we play. The points in the paint in every game we play. You're in a shooting slump? Play the Hawks. 3-point percentage. There's been times where we've played teams that has a 31% shooting percentage as a team from 3, and they shoot 45% on us. If you follow me on Twitter on Intellect ATL down there, you see me talking about it. I do it quarter by quarter. And when I do shows now, I usually will pull games and go quarter by quarter. Here's what actually happened. Here's the reality. Again, reality, multiverse. It's different. There's fact and fiction. I just don't think a lot of people are living in the facts. We don't have a coach that can lead this team to wins when we have the wins and we lose them. And the coach is okay with that because he said he don't think we have a problem with holding on to leads. He don't think it's a problem at all. And that was at game 31. How many games have we played since then? And how many more leads have we lost? Think about that. We won't run an offense to keep from losing those type of games. And sometimes it's not even having a system. It's just, hey, you ain't hot. I got to put somebody else in there. Or how about this? Let's actually run the shot clock all the way through. We got 24 seconds. Why are we shooting at 22 seconds? Let's run something and get the best shot possible. Why can't we do that? Because other teams do it. We watch Curry go around and round and round. Is that Tevin Campbell, I believe? Klay Thompson run around. Whole team run around. Poole run around. Why? Because they got a system to do it. And they're going to set screens. They're going to set multiple screens until they get the best shot possible. They're never going to stop. Can't stop, won't stop, Rockefeller. What? But we can't do that, though. We got 4 players that shoot 37% from 3. And we got other people capable of hitting threes. And we won't set no kind of screen? None? Please get out of here with that. I take pride in setting screens. I enjoy setting the screen. I say screens should be entered into the stat line as an assist. If it results in a direct shot, if I see you coming around, I'm like, boom, guy right there is my guy. He shoots and he hits it. That should be my assist. I do that all the time, every night. Draymond Green might be in the Hall of Fame just on assists if it was that. You see what I'm saying? You got to do what's necessary to win the doggone game. Why isn't the coach giving us that formula and attitude? See, that comes from the top. That's where the philosophy comes in. That's why I should go ahead and play this interview, but I'm not going to do it from Coach Bud. Because there's all the tenets of offense that he talks about, going back Tech's winter time, and then he's putting his own little things in there. And we watched the Hawks win 60 games with 5 guys that would never on their own go to an all-star game. And y'all questioning, oh, we don't need no system. Get out of here. Bud has a championship. Oh, well, he had the Greek Freak. But what? He got all the other players too, and he had to get the Greek Freak to play right too. Just like Jordan had to play in the triangle as well. Think about that. Mike Jordan, he had to learn the triangle offense. Sure did. You know, Michael passed the ball too. Sure did. I know because I saw Kerr hit that three-pointer. That's how I know. It works. You see what I'm saying? I want something that works. So we're going to talk about, okay, well, if we do change, where do we go? Well, that's a great question. I threw some names out there earlier in the year, but just to recount some of them. Now, I don't know how y'all feel about college coaches. You know, I didn't necessarily think about college coaches, but Jay Wright's available. He ain't in college no more. He's only 61 years old. Jay Wright's 2-time national championship winning coach. He went to 4 Final Fours. He's a multi-time Big East Coach of the Year. 642, 282 record. I wouldn't be mad. Sam Cassell, 2-time NBA champion. He was a great point guard for his whole career on multiple teams. Definitely that Nets team stands out to me. He's been on the bench a long time. He's been on the bench long enough, though. He needs a head coaching opportunity. I feel the players would respect Sam. I believe the players will listen to him to say, hey, this is how we going to win our 2 back-to-back NBA finals. This is what we're going to do. And he's going to get a staff together to say, hey, we need a big man coach. Check. Free throws? Check. This coach, we're going to get defensive-minded coach in here. Check. We're going to be for real about it. We're going to demand this. Again, what do we do for 2 off seasons? How did we go 2 off seasons and our defense don't improve at all? We gave up 115 points right now. Wait. My bad. We score 115 points right now a game. We give up 116. Last year, we scored 113 points. We gave up 112. If we just played defense the last 2 years, no telling what we could have been. But we don't do any of it. It's allowed to watch what we see every night. It's allowed because otherwise people will be benched. I can't bench anybody. Oh, Chris, you don't hold nobody accountable. I can't bench anybody. I've been saying this since the start. When Trey started shooting them half-court shots unnecessarily, I was like, what in the world? Why is Pierce letting them do it? And by the way, there is a fine line on having a player benched in certain parts of the game and then not getting them back in the game when you actually do need him. Because the whole benching thing is to snap you into reality to be like, hey, just don't shoot those shots, especially in crunch time. Those are unnecessary and they are never good. And it always goes back to and one on the other side. Just cut those shots out and just get your teammates involved and we'll be all right. Which is why I get mad that we don't move without the ball, because if we did, Trey would have 18 assists a night. He's trying to pass the ball. He's getting 10 assists a night with people standing around the three-point line every night. Think about that. Let me see if I can pull one real quick.
Hawks playing without 3 starters tonight. They've shot it at 51%. Young angles in, turns it over.
Nobody moved to help Trey. Nobody actually moved to nobody reacted to the defense for what Trey was doing right there. They just stood there. And he had nowhere to pass the ball. Now, sometimes Trey is able to get the ball to somebody standing there, not move an inch. That's unnecessary, though, when they could just move. Just move without the ball. Just cut to the basket. I tell everybody, if you cut to the basket, I'll get you the ball. I'm very proficient at that. I get like 4, 5, 6 assists a game, and we're only going to 12. We play 16-minute quarters. I'm getting assists every game because I'm trying to pass the ball because I'm trying to win. Can't move me out the post unless you foul me. I got fouled a lot Sunday. That's the other thing that they were killing me. And I don't ever call foul, but Sunday I had to because they were trying to kill me in the post that night. We don't move without the ball ever, and it's necessary. If we did it, we would never lose. We have skill sets on our team that if we just did basic stuff, we would never lose a game. Period. It'd be impossible. But we won't do it for some reason. We won't do it. And it's disappointing. So I mentioned 2 coaches so far. Snyder ain't doing nothing right now. He won for 4 years in Utah. What he up to? Throw him in there. Atkinson, of course. Bud, Steve Kerr. Why not? Juwan Howard, if we could pull him from Michigan, I don't think that's likely, but heck, why not? I believe Juwan has enough of a acumen and teaching behind him to say he could take this young team and do some stuff. You know what I'm saying? But my preference would be for someone to have actual championship experience, either as a player or a coach, and or a specialist, even like D'Antoni. Imagine D'Antoni as a head coach of this team on the offensive side of the ball. Then that just means he has to get somebody really good on the defensive side of the ball. See, again, that was the whole premise of having Pierce come in here. And again, Travis basically rolled the dice. He lost on that one, though. Pierce brought no defense, but scoring was never a problem with us. Remember that. Remember those first 2 seasons. I said it then. If we could ever play any defense, we'd be in the playoffs. Trey is trying to get us in the playoffs. Trey wanted to get us in the playoffs first year. I said that from the very beginning of that season because he said it. Oh, Chris, we had all the injuries and bootleg stuff, blah, 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 blah. We were in all those games, though. We just couldn't play a lick of defense. Think of who we had on those teams, though, too. We just played a little bit of defense, just a little bit of something. Second year, same thing. The end of 2020, we played with better effort. Nate figured out how to get them to play with better effort, but we were still doing the same stuff. We were still over-helping, but we rotated better. We got back on defense just a little bit better. We blocked out just a little bit better as a team. We called out switches better. And that's how we rolled through the Eastern Conference. Effort. That all changed the next season. Had a whole off season for him to implement what he wanted to do, and it was all the wrong stuff, and we lost 39 games. You saw it. You saw it happen again when he took over in 2020. He couldn't do what he would want to do necessarily as a head coach because he just got thrown into there, which, by the way, he didn't really want to do. He didn't really want to take the head coaching job either, if y'all remember, but whatever. I said, well, let's see what happens. He got the opportunity. Let's see if he can be different from getting swept 3 or 4 years in Indy, losing 3 playoff series in a row in Portland, and only going to the playoffs 2 out of 5 years in Seattle. Let's see if anything's different. I said, though, I would rather have rolled into the sunset. Thanks, Nate, for getting us to the Eastern Conference Finals. Appreciate that. But we need to go ahead and bring us our new coach in. That's what I said initially. But he signed a contract. I was like, okay, well, let's see. Let's see if he can carry it over. And he reverted to everything he's ever done before. That's what's happened. Last year was not successful. You're not going to be able to convince me of that. We shouldn't have been in the playoffs at all. It was terrible to watch that. Oh, we were running the same stuff, and, Kevin, he was the man. He helped us out a lot. I almost should do it. I don't got time to do it. It's already 1 o'clock in the morning. I need to go. But go back and watch. Okay, let's see if I can name the videos. So if you go back on the IMTN Worldwide YouTube channel, in regards to the first 20 games of last year and 14 games that we lost 13 points or less, you can go back to a show that I did about a month ago on Side Notes. Why now? Why not last season, Kevin Huerter? When I say why not last season, why wasn't Kevin getting 20 a night last year? When we really needed it. He had the contract, and I wasn't mad that he got the contract. But he got that contract based off of 12 points a game career average and that 27 Philly game. And all I needed was for him to get 19 a night. Was that asking a lot? He gave us 12 points a game again, though? No. And then he don't play defense when he ain't hitting his shot. Here, I'll give y'all a snippet. Let me see if I can find it real quick. If it don't take me too long to find. I don't have all this stuff pulled up as I usually would. Is this it? It is. So let me pull a couple of games. Game 1, 3 for 8, 0 for 3 from 3. Game 2, 2 for 9, 0 for 4 from 3. Game 4, 1 for 8 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3. Game 5, 0 for 4 from the field. He didn't really play that game, but he was 0 for 4 from 3. That's all the shots he took. Game 6, 1 for 5 from the field. Didn't play game 7. He had a good game. Game 8, 16 points, 7 for 9 from the field. But then the next night in Utah, 3 for 9 from the field, over 3 from 3, 6 points. So he went from 16 to 6 points just right there. The next game against the Suns, 7 points. Next game, 11 points. Now, next game, we played Utah again, game 12. He had 28 points in that game. Then the next game, 1 for 6, 0 for 5 from 3, he had 2 points. Game 15, 4 points. Then he had the 17-point game and the 13-point game. Then he had a 10-point game and a 7-point game. Those are some of the 20 games of last season. Now, games that we lost, I put 10 points or less, actually. So against the Knicks, game 21, 38 minutes, 4 for 13 from the field, 0 for 6 from 3. He had 8 points. He started that game. Gallo, by the way, he also played that game. He was 2-11 from the field, 1 for 6 from 3. He had 5 points. I'm just saying, it's just game 27 against the Rockets. He was 1 for 7 from 3. He had a good game against Portland, and then he followed that up with a 4 for 12 night. He'd have a good game against the Heat, and he follows that up with a 2 for 8 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3, has 6 points. Dallas, 4 for 13 from the field, 11 points. We needed more than that from him last year, folks. That's all I'm saying. It's the principle of it all. That's what actually happened. That's just some of the games. I pulled 34 different games from last year. That's almost half the games of the season. If we were getting 19 points a game from Kevin last year, we're a top 16 last year. With all the foolery that happened, we'd be a top 16, wouldn't have to worry about no play-in. Or if we had just played decent defense, we were scoring enough points, we just couldn't stop nobody. If we want to just say we're going to do the same thing. So why isn't the same thing we did last year working this year? We have 21 losses now. We could lose 40 games this year, y'all. Y'all know that, right? Think about that. It's not working because other teams know what we're doing. Rick Carlisle in that Indiana game, he trapped Trey every time he could. Dared us to move without the ball. We wouldn't do it. Hey guys, need you to move without the ball. That's not enough. It needs to be, hey, when Trey gets trapped, I need somebody to come here. I need somebody to this, and this is the reason why. See, that's coaching. That's directing. Standing there with your arms folded ain't coaching, y'all. It just ain't. It never will be. You got to be telling people what to do. And if they're not doing it, wait. All y'all are out. Second team, you're in. Second team don't do it. All y'all are out. Third team. If the third team don't do it, hey, call up College Park. There has to be a consequence. Why are people, what's the word I'm looking for here? Why are people so adamant about not having consequences for doing bad? Because you at your job right now, if you did bad, there's a consequence for it. You come into work late. Try coming into work late 3 times in a row at Aflac and think you're going to get away with something. Aflac, one of the biggest companies in the world. You're going to get a warning. You're going to get a write-up. You're going to get, what is it called? You're going to go home without pay. Depending on what kind of worker you are, a little bit. You might have a little bit, but eventually you're not going to be there no more. I remember a person getting walked out, boxing everything. Bye. Because you came in one time too many times late. That time said 9 o'clock or whatever the time was. And the clock on the screen right there, it said click. And I look over, I'm like, dang, she ain't there. It's probably going to be the day. And sure enough, she came in there like 10 minutes later or whatever. And not too long after that, floor supervisor came moseying around, asked her to get her personal things and items. And there's consequences. There's consequences. You have leadership. And just like I said, as a leader, as a manager, I can't just let the employees do whatever they want. If I'm in the restaurant, if I'm on the restaurant side of things and I got servers or runners or bussers not showing up the shift, that's going to mess up the shift because now we got to try to figure out how we're going to handle all the tables with less people. That hurts the whole team. I can't let those people do that to the team. I got to pull you off the schedule because you're not coming in. You're not coming in on time, or you're not coming in to work when you're scheduled and not giving notice or any kind. I got to penalize you now because the only thing you listening to is money. If you want the money, you got to be on the schedule. Guess what? I control the schedule, not you. You just can't come in when you want to. See, there's a consequence for that. But see, also, my job is on the line too because I oversee everything. I got to make sure that the guests are cool. I got to make sure that the kitchen is cool. I got to make sure that the chef is cool. Is food coming out on time? Do I have enough people to get that food to the customers? Do I got enough people to clear all the tables so that we can seat more customers? See, I got all of that I got to worry about every doggone night. And then are we going to run out of popcorn somehow? Are we going to run out of chicken fingers or something crazy? That actually happened one time at SunTrust. Well, Truist Park is called now. I'm still trying to figure out how we ran out of chicken fingers that night. That was crazy. I used to work in the Infinity Club, if you need to know. But it's on me. If my people aren't selling enough cell phones at my store, that's on me. Something is wrong. Are they talking to anybody? What are they talking about? Are they just chopping it up? Or are they talking about Samsung versus iPhone? We're talking AT&T versus Verizon. Are you going to get the insurance or not? Do you need a cricket phone? Whatever the case might be, what are you actually saying? I need to overhear it. I need to listen. I need to see what's going on because I need to maybe retrain you on stuff or give you some suggestions because I don't want to have to fire you. Because you ain't going to stay here if you ain't selling no phones. I can't just be paying you for nothing. That's how that works. Can't be paying you for nothing. Now in the NBA, you have a contract too, but it don't necessarily mean you're going to play. People. Think about it. People make a lot of money and they ain't playing. How many games that who was it? James Harden got he wasn't playing. He was like, I'm not going to play here no whatever, right? You got John Wall and other situations, whatever. But sometimes you're a healthy scratch just because you're a healthy scratch. You're just going to sit. You can play, but you ain't going to play on this team because I don't think you can help. Right? That's what Coach Tibbs has done in the past. I don't think you can help my team. I don't know how to use you. It's either or, but the coach controls that. And that's why I get upset and say, well, why can't Nate do that then? Why does Murray get to go 4 for 13 in a game? Bogey go 2 for 13 in a game. 4 for 17 in a game. 0 for 10 from 3. All of these crazy negative stats that pulls your team from the ability to win a game to either the brink of losing or you actually lost the game. If you go back and look at those losses that we have 15-point lead, a lot of that has contributed to not running a good offense, but also just shooting out. It's easy to win a game when the other teams are shooting out. You don't got to really play that hard. Why is the coach letting them do that though? Why? I just want someone to tell me, why is it okay for a player to shoot your team out of a win? The other players can't be cool with it either. Did you remember the shot that Murray put up? And again, I'm not harping on any player in particular, but these things happen. I can't not talk about them. My gosh. But when Murray is coming down the court, I forget what game it is right now. Oh, no, I don't. Wait a minute. I can actually play it.
Hawks are going to play. 4 seconds, 3. They're down 1. A chance to win it. Murray, back iron, no good.
I forgot I pulled that clip. So did you see? Coming down the court, we didn't call timeout. You can say whatever you want to about that, but no time. We had the timeouts. I was flabbergasted. I was like, wait, so we didn't have a timeout? What we do? I was like, and then I found out we had timeouts. I was like LeBron. I was like, Coach Lou, we had timeout. Coach Lou said, yeah, we had timeout. And then Brian, I was just like that. I posted that, I think, on Twitter. Bogey was right there. Bogey is your guy. He has a reputation for hitting shots like that. And he's one of your best shooters on the team. He shoots 44% from 3. I can't even talk. I'm tired. He shoots 44% from 3. Aaron Holiday was on the other side. Shoots 43% from 3. Was cutting down the middle of the lane. Could have been a simple pass because, see, there was 2 people on Murray. That means somebody was open by default. Now, John wasn't open. But was cutting down the middle, either for a possible layup or foul, and you had 2 people with a propensity of hitting that shot. Sometimes leadership means sacrifice. Sometimes to win the game, you got to do what's necessary to win the game. That wasn't, no matter what, that was not the best shot. It wasn't. Do you want me to replay it again? I'll replay it again.
Hawks are going to play. 4 seconds, 3. They're down 1. A chance to win it. Murray, back on.
You see what Bogey did? Whoop, wide open. Aaron was wide open on that other side. And like I said, was streaking down the middle. That was another game we had a lead in. That's all I'm saying, y'all. Again, this is stuff that is practiced. This is stuff that is learned. This is stuff that is taught. This is stuff that is drilled. Just like a drill sergeant in the Army, just like somebody who's managing a store in retail or a restaurant. This is stuff that you get trained on over and over and over and over again until you get it right. So that way it becomes natural. It becomes a part of you. It's the synapses are firing in your brain. To say in this particular situation, 4 seconds left, we're coming up the court, we're streaking, we're running. We're running a fast break though. But in that particular case, there's 2 people on him. He wasn't open. And he's not the best three-point shooter. It'd be different a little bit if that was Bogey coming up the line like that. Or heck, even Trey to an extent because he's Ice Trey. But Murray ain't no shooter like that. Not from 3. Never has been, never will be. That was Curry, of course, or, Larry Bird or somebody, But not in that particular case. It just wasn't appropriate. And all I'm saying is it's allowed to happen. It's allowed to happen. You can't shoot a team out and you're not hot. And you can't shoot a team out when you're hot sometimes. There's time and place. You have to make sure that your team is involved because 5 players beating you is better than 1 player beating you. 1 player can't beat a team of 10. It's never going to happen. It just don't happen. I know this because we watched the Bulls do it forever. Michael Jordan, 68 points. Michael Jordan, 55 points, but they're losing. They're losing. They lost. Craig Hodges, though, right? Paxson, Kerr, man, we got to get them the ball. They can shoot a little bit. Bill Wellington, Bill Cartwright, doggone it. Scott Williams. Everybody gets involved. You got a chance to win. Everybody's involved. That's how the Bad Boys did it. That's how Boston did it. All these teams over the years, whether it be Utah Jazz have variations of that pick and roll. Everybody's getting the ball. Everybody's getting the ball. But doggone it, shoot, Karl Malone didn't have to do a whole heck of a lot. Pick and pop, or he's at the basket. He wasn't doing no tricky dribbling out or anywhere. Stockton's getting 13 assists a night, passing the ball, loving it. Why can't we do that? They were moving though. Hornacek moving. Wide open shots. Wide open. Why can't we have that? Why won't we? Why don't we want that? See, it's so confusing. Why don't people want that? Here, I'm going to play it. Let me see if I can find it. I'm going to play part of it.
Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. I'm excited to have Coach Budenholzer from the Atlanta Hawks to talk about offense. So I'm just kind of curious, from day one, did you have your offensive philosophy ready to go, blueprinted, mapped out to teach your players starting right off the bat?
I would say the majority of it, yes. I think you kind of learn your players as you go a little bit and you adjust and tweak it based on their skills and what you see them, doing well and most comfortable. But the main basic principles, we had a very good idea what we wanted to do.
We have been breaking down a lot of your offensive sets recently. And as a triangle offense coach, I'm noticing a lot of triangle influence. How conscious is that and how, was that like on purpose?
Yeah, I think the triangle was a big influence on me. I think all the success that, Coach Jackson had and, with the Bulls and with the Lakers and that was when I was in a little bit of my young formative age and, we were trying to beat those teams and trying to figure out how to stop them. And I think there's a lot of good, solid, fundamental basketball principles that every coach, every offense could steal from.
Are there particular pieces that you liked the most that you put in when you saw what they were doing?
There's a handful of them. I think, it's at the end of the day, the spacing and the angles and the ability to get the ball to the post, both to score and to pass and playing through the elbows and, I just think that a lot of the angles, a lot of the spacing are, like I said, just good, solid, fundamental things.
So when we notice, particularly with pinch post, what I love about what you do with it is instead of passing the ball to pinch post and cutting around, which I think you do a little bit of, you'll have that become a flare screen and off of the curl from the corner. I've never seen Tex Winter or ever anybody do that kind of an action. So did you just sort of evolve that on your own?
Yeah, that's where I think there are some things that are triangle, and there's some other things that are totally different. And all the years in San Antonio and the way the offense evolved there, and observing and learning and being a part of that process, and adding some of our own stuff. So it's kind of a mix of different things. It's by no means just triangle.
Are you a part method or a whole method coach when you're installing these things?
We do both. We kind of teach it in the whole, and then we'll go and break it down in parts and get them to better understand the reads and the different options and the variety that we want to encourage and how they use the offense. So we do both.
Is it a stress for you when you're shooting your three-point shots that the pass comes from the angle of the low post or from the basket? Because it looks that way to me, where so many of your shots are coming inside out, which obviously makes it an easier shot. Is that a focus for your team?
Yeah, I think hopefully we're getting shots a lot of different ways, and we're making it difficult on the defense to know where we're coming from. But I think using the post and the angles that it creates and the things it does to the defense and their positioning and how they play, can create opportunities that hopefully we take advantage of.
So shout out to B-Ball Breakdown for that interview of Coach Bud in 2015. So people are trying to tell me you wouldn't want some kind of element of all that what Coach Bud just said, but let me rephrase. People would rather not have what Bud just said, any of it, and we are just going to settle for what we got and say that with a straight face to me. Coaching matters. Having a plan matters. Having a plan on top of plans matters, because sometimes your plans don't work and you got to be able to do what? Adjust. You see what I'm saying? Plenty of times in a busy restaurant on a big baseball day where Evander Holyfield or Chris Tucker or Cam Newton is going to show up, not planning for it or not knowing it's going to happen, all kind of stuff sometimes has to change and adjust to make sure that evening goes right. Rain delays, killer in a shift at a restaurant like that at a baseball stadium. Because now that means that all the people that were sitting outside are all of a sudden going to be inside. And now you got to try to find people where you had their tables. Now they don't have tables. Now you got to basically go by sight. You know how hard that is? Try to serve people in a crowded room where you got people coming from inside and outside, crossing through and stuff like that. And you now got to try to find all the people that you were serving outside. You know how hard that is? It's hard. It's very difficult. But you got to be ready for it, and you got to be able to adjust and make it work and try to make sure that the guests are happy and satisfied so they're not tweeting about you the next day. People tend to do that. I still remember the time I had to deny alcohol service to this one person because they gave me a bootleg ID, and they wanted to really try to rise up on me, and I almost threw them out. I was like, what in the world? Y'all know I'm black, right? I was tripping that day. I was like very upset. But anyway, you got to be able to adjust to whatever the situation is. If that means me running food, that's what I got to do. If that means me bussing tables, that's what I got to do. And if the people who are being lackadaisical now see me, oh shoot, Chris running food, we better get on. We need to, because Chris about fire us. Man, Chris out there bussing tables. Man, Chris ain't supposed to be cleaning no tables. That's my job. Hey, Chris, I got you, man. Don't worry about it. I got it. Oh, you sure? I can do it now. I got my towel over my shoulder and everything. I'm bussing this table now, but get out of here. No, Chris, I got it. Okay. All right, cool. You gotta have a plan. You also gotta show people that you're willing to do what's necessary to succeed. And I'm willing to do it. I'll do inventory by myself if I got to. I'd rather have help, but I'll do inventory on my own, however many hours it might take. You know how long it takes to do inventory at a restaurant? It's crazy. I remember doing retail inventory at Radio Shack years ago. You know how many items are in the typical Radio Shack? You were there all night long. Pizza time. We got to be there, though. We got to count all this stuff. It all has to go into the system. And you got to be able to do those type of things to show leadership, to show, look, I'm here with y'all. We're going to get this done. We're going to do it right, though. There's process and procedures. Why don't y'all want process and procedures? Because what we've been having ain't working. And we don't need it to work once in a while either. We need it to work all the time. Again, stuff like missed shots, that's not defense. That's the other team missing shots. What happens when they hit shots? We lose. Right? What happens when we don't hit shots? We don't got nothing to go to. We lose. Why can't we make shots easier for our guys? We got guys who are proficient in certain areas and we won't give them the ball. We won't try to do it. We won't even try to do it. All the other teams, though, oh, that's his spot right there. You hear Dominique say it all the time. Like he's part of their team or something. Again, you know, Nick, again, DeMar DeRozan, he's going to go right to his spot. But we can't do that for Murray all the time. We can't do that for Trey all the time. We can't do that for John. We won't do it for John. We won't do it. Career 55% shooter from the field. We won't do it for John. That's mind-boggling to me. Let me get out of here, y'all. Hopefully, those who watch enjoy. Didn't see any messages, so I couldn't comment to nobody. Again, this wasn't a live show. This definitely wasn't a scheduled show. I decided literally at 11:40 to do a show and came on at midnight. So now it's 1:30. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I actually got people from one of the people that I hired texting me about something, so I'm having to actually do a little work, which was crazy because I think where they're at is midnight in Chicago, right? I guess. But anyway, let me get out of here. Make sure you subscribe to the IMTM Worldwide Radio page. Make sure you follow on Twitter right there, Intellect ATL. My co-host Jordan Jackson, Jordan23 ATL. The first around the ATL live show, 2-hour show is coming up. Hopefully this week or by the end of the week. Now that the Falcons season is over, we're going to talk some Falcons. We will talk some Hawks. We'll talk some Braves. Maybe some Atlanta United. We haven't talked Atlanta United for a while. We're going to talk some college ball. Of course, we're going to talk about UGA, national champions back-to-back. It was just it's kind of one of those deals where it's like, hey, we knew we were going to win, but, we didn't know it was going to win this. It's crazy. I don't know. It's crazy. But I think somebody already said we're going to – actually, I think I said it. We're going to win the championship for the next 10 years. There we go. It's a lock. We're a lock. What else we're going to talk about? That's about it as far as the next show. So just stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe. You'll see the notification when I schedule it, and hopefully you tune in. Remember, you can call into the show at that point, and lend us your ear in regards to whatever it is that we're talking about each segment. I believe we're going to start catching up on college basketball soon. We haven't done a college basketball segment in forever, so we'll catch up on that in a little bit. UGA, they got a little catching up to do. We'll see if they can stay competitive the whole season. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I just don't think that the Hawks should be left to ruin like this, to just marinate and we just don't have nothing to just kind of, this is what we need to do to win, and we can do it. And because it's not happening right now. Literally, we almost lost that game. Oh, Chris, we did win it, but we really kind of didn't, to an extent, But I will say this. The players played with the effort that if they did that every game, we could win more games. But they are not doing it every game because we just got beat by the Lakers and Dennis Schroeder. Okay, or Bryant. Who's this Bryant guy? I know he's dominating, but gosh, we can't stop him either. It's just ridiculous. And again, we've lost 10 games when we've had 9-point lead or higher. And that was almost number 11. That's the difference of your season right there, y'all. If you're good enough to have a 9-point lead or more, you're good enough to win the game, but we are not good enough to win the game. And that shouldn't be cool to y'all, to leave the players up to their own devices. I'm sorry. This is big business here. This is business, nothing personal. I want to see the Hawks win a championship. That's why I've done all these shows lately, to show that ring from 1950 freaking 8. We need more than that. We've had the players. We can do it. We really can. But you need leadership to do that. And right now, our leadership is all messed up. But don't tell me that a coach won't come here. Don't tell me there's not a coach that can come here and do something with this team. Don't tell me that. That's just a lie. The Houston Texans, that's different. They have nothing over there. Elements of success over there. Nobody can win over there. You can win with this Hawks team, though. We do have Trae Young on this team. We got Murray on this team. They're on the same team in the same uniform. That's why I wrote this article. I'll post this in the comments for y'all if y'all want to check it out again. This is exactly why I wrote this article. Where are we at? Here we go. I'll post this in the comments. We can't be a one-dimensional team and expect to win, not when we have two guards like Trae and Murray. Why are we being one-dimensional? What's the excuse of that? In this article, I mentioned Melvin Hunt and some of the things he did in Denver, and then some of the stuff he brought with us to the Hawks. And none of those things are happening now. We're actually running the offense, but not all the way. See, the element of saying, okay, we're going to let the players make the decisions out there only works if they're making the right decisions. Melvin said that. But the other part of that is moving without the ball, moving to empty spaces, reacting to the defense, setting screens, driving and kicking. And we don't do any of that consistently. We don't do most of that at all. We don't do none of it. We don't do most of that at all. We don't drive and kick. We drive and kick once a game. We pass the ball 4 times at the very beginning of the game, and we don't see it the rest of the game. The rest of it, 1-2 passes, shoot. By Sierra, 1-2 step, 1-2 shoot, 1-2 shoot. That's what we do. It's easy to play NBA basketball against a team that's all they do. And the only reason you stay in the game is if people are hot and they hit their shots. But what if you're not hitting your jumpers? Then you gotta stagger a screen and get a little closer. You got to post up a little bit more. You got to post up and then cut. John's a decent passer. My God. For real? We can't do it. We won't do it. That doesn't make any sense. Stack. We don't do no high-low. Yes, we can do it. We can if you practice it. If you put it in the offense to practice it and you do it. What were we doing for 2 off seasons? They had 2 off seasons, y'all. I keep saying that. He had 2 off seasons. Why don't we have any elements of anything successful? Why? Oh, Chris, he's telling them what to do. They just ain't doing it. That's bull. I'm sorry. It just is. It just is. Because if that was the case, how is he letting it happen like it is out there? If he's telling people to block out and to get back on defense and to stay with your man on switches or rotate better, and it ain't happening, he's letting it happen, he's complicit. If he's telling them that, hey, stop shooting so much, and they keep on shooting it, he's complicit. He's letting them do it. Remember a couple of nights ago, we heard Lauren come on after hearing the coach in the huddle and told Murray, hey, I need you to get the ball moving again. I need the ball moving side to side. Murray just kept on shooting. We lost that game. He's complicit. All you got to do is pull Murray and put in Aaron, put in Justin, put in Trent, put in somebody. Where's Tyrese at? But to just keep letting just one player shoot you out the game, I'm sorry. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Trae. I don't care if it's John. I don't care if it's Gallo from last year who shut us out games last year. I don't care if it's Kevin. I don't care who it is. You can't let that happen. You just can't. If Billy Donovan can pull out Zach LaVine $200 million player self, going 1 for 14 from the field in 25 minutes, anybody can get it. It has to happen, because if that's the only way to get a player's attention to be like, hey, what the heck is this? All right, it's time to close up the chat room. What the heck? Can I even delete these? Oh, okay, I can block it. The heck was that? Anyway, if I forgot my thought right there, that's never happened before. If Billy Donovan can bench Zach, I forgot my thought. I can't even pull it back up. But if he can do that, why can't we do that on the Hawks? Again, other players are taken out of a game in a situation where that player is not being productive. And the players on the floor being productive, you got to run with. Why is that when we have that happen on our team, and then all of a sudden you're going to put players back in that weren't doing nothing, and then you lose the game? We do that a lot here, don't we? You've seen it because I've seen you comment on it, some of y'all, on Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Not having a feel of the game is dangerous. Not knowing situational basketball is dangerous. It's dangerous. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I'm just a logical person, y'all. And a lot of these losses were preventable this year. Whether it be on the defensive side of the ball or the offensive side of the ball, these losses were preventable. You're not going to win every game, but the goal is to win every game. And we're not even in a position to do that right now. And we can't waste another season. Trey led the league in points and assists last year, and it was an afterthought because of our record and what we did last year. This shouldn't be allowed. We got too much talent on this team. We saw it again just the other night. We saw Hunter play like the number 4 pick in the draft. He's actually having a better season than he's had in a while. He is for sure. You got to give him credit for that. I do. If he can do this the rest of the season, we got a shot to salvage the season a little bit. But we got to get John the ball more. And we just got to hold up on them threes. There was a night where we were 2 for 16 from 3 at a certain point. The only reason we didn't get blown out, we stopped shooting threes. We only shot 35 threes from the night after starting off 2 for 16. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? Oh, that was the Golden State game, I believe. Because Golden State shot 63 in that game. And they shot 59 threes, and they had 58 points in the paint on top of the 59 threes that they shot. What in the world? Stuff like that I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? So again, we need to be winning these games. We're going to have to get a 10-game win streak to actually have a shot. And that's not possible right now. When has that been possible all year for us to have a 10-game win streak? A 5-game win streak would be something at this point, wouldn't it? What's our longest one? 3? Maybe, I think. 3? That's not good enough. Not in the East. Not if getting to the playoffs is a goal and being competitive in the playoffs. Because it can't just be getting to the playoffs. Again, Nate's been doing that. We need to go beyond that. You see what I'm saying? Nate on his own, Seattle, 5 years, 2 playoff appearances. Portland, 6 years, 3 playoff appearances. Indy, 4 years. 3 or 4 years, he was swept out the playoffs, and then in his 5th year got fired. He was an assistant coach here. Somebody said the other day, Nate's a better assistant coach than the head coach. I could go with that. But him as the head person, it's not working. It's not working. Well, Chris, you got to the Eastern Conference Finals. Well, that was partial him and partial the old regime and the remnants of that, and him taking that and getting them to play harder and using what they got. Because you couldn't, again, you're not changing midstream. Not changing midstream, but now with what he wants to do and how he's been doing it, which he's self-admitted, he's from the old school. He ain't really up to all this is going on in the NBA nowadays. He said that. So after he said that, okay, now what then? Because he's not changing. He basically told y'all, I'm going to keep doing it like I've been doing, as successful as that been. Again, if Nate had won a championship, he has some leeway. He has a rope. If Nate had won a conference championship, he has some rope. If he had been in multiple conference championships, he has some rope. But he has none of that, though. He has nothing on record to show, okay, well, here's the reason why Nate can do it. He doesn't have that track record. He doesn't have it. Tyronn Lue would have it. Right? Mike Brown would have it a little bit, getting to the finals. Right? Rick Carlisle has an NBA championship. Right? And as much as we talk about Doc does have a championship. I mean, again, championship is a championship is a championship. And he's won a lot of games too. He's gone to some conference finals. Right? But I don't want Doc, though, by the way. But just saying. But like I said, the coaches that I mentioned, Sam Cassell, he's been part of 2 championships and involved in those championships. He was part of those Rockets teams. And he's been a great player for a long time before he retired. And he's been coaching for a minute. Jay Wright has a long history of success. Teaching. When you teach people how to produce, you do well. And other people recognize that. When I teach my people to do stuff, they get it done. And if they don't get it done, I got to start making decisions. And I got to let them know, hey, I might have to think about making a decision if you don't step it up. Because somebody out there wants employment. There's always a replacement. All right? I'm going to talk to y'all later. Y'all take care. This is Chris, IMTN Worldwide Radio. Hopefully you enjoy. Please support. Again, follow IMTN Worldwide Radio on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Follow there on Twitter, Intellect ATL. I will talk to y'all another time. Peace.